I'm Chocolate Amun Ra, and I'm gonna throw y'all a little message. You know that's what I do. Jump in the shower, come out, and finish it off. First, I'm gonna brush my teeth, so give me a second. Peace. Before I throw this message, you know, we gotta pay all due respects to the Creator. The sun rises. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. Amun. Alright, listen here. I don't want you to be shocked, but I do want you to listen. And what I want you to listen to is this. What if everything you think you know is not true? What if your research you've done is not true? What if by you listening to somebody else's research, somebody else's pilgrimage, somebody else's history, but it's not true for you? What if you think you're African, but you're really not African? What if you think you East African, but you're not East African? What if you ain't got nothing to do with Africa, period? I put it to you this way. If Alex Haley, the author that wrote Roots, they created Roots and made it to a TV series back in the 70s. Look this up. Before Alex Haley made a TV series, how many of y'all ever thought you was a slave? How many of you put into your mindset that you might have been a descendant from Africa that could have been a slave? Because before that movie came out, nobody who lived here in America that was melanated or black thought they was a slave. Think about this. Think about it. I'm a 60s baby. I was born in the 60s. Alex Haley movie came out, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, probably in between of 75 and 78. Between those 2 years. If I'm wrong, okay, but if I'm in the area of 75 and 78, then I'm good with that. I just have to go back. But think about it. He only did Roots to find his heritage. This is the reason why Alex Haley did that. He wasn't worried about slavery. He wasn't worried about white people snatching his people up from Africa and bringing them to Africa to here in the so-called New World. Nah, Alex Haley wanted to know his tree history. So what he did was he started going backwards to find his heritage tree line. That's what he did. Now, he wrote the book became successful, then the TV series. The TV series had shocking the world. Because the reason why I say that, even though you had people like Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, you had the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you had Martin Luther King, you had Marcus Garvey, you had W.E.B. Du Bois, you had Frederick Douglass. Even though we had these people, and I can go on and on, but let me ask you this question. We had these people, but the impact did not hit home until we watched the movie Roots. Now, that movie was based on Alex Haley. Here's another thing you really got to be careful about. If the indigenous people who was already here, which you quote unquote, you call them Indians, if they was already here, why would you need to bring slaves or African people from way over there to over here? But then I started thinking, which it made common sense. I'll be back and we'll take this shot right quick. I got something for y'all. Have any one of y'all watched Roots? The first Roots, the one that was out in 1970. Like I said, between 75 and 77. And if I'm wrong, sorry. Do your research. But I don't want to get into all that. What if, but I need you to fucking pay attention to me. Pay attention. When Kunta Kinte was captured and put on the ship, he went through the whole ordeal, right? He went through the whole ordeal, right? Let's be real. He went through the whole ordeal. Now, excuse me. He's now in, I think it was in West Virginia, or something like that. I'm not for sure. But now he's in the new land, so-called. The reason why there's a new land is new land for the white people. Those white colonies. And it never been no new land because people was already there, which was the indigenous people. But it's everything you read, new land means for the colonies people, for the people from Europe who came to that land and inhabited it and talking about, it's mine now. Okay? Hold on to that. Now, you remember Fiddler? Fiddler had to train Kunta Kinte how to act right. Kunta Kinte kept telling Fiddler, I'm African. I'm a warrior. I'm stubborn. That's not going to work like that for me. So then Kunta Kinte asked him, what tribe you come from? Fiddler said, what you mean what tribe I come from? This is what Fiddler told him. What tribe you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Pay attention to the movie, Common Sense. What if what you think you know is not what you really think you know? Because if Fiddler told him, and Fiddler did said it, in the movie he tells Kunta Kinte, I was already here in America. I already was born here. He said his family was born here. So what he's telling you was, he was never African. How can he claim to be an African when he never was one? Have anybody ever thought about that? How you gonna ask somebody to claim to be something which they're not? You understand? Ask yourself a question. You're not doing it. What you thinking? You think you believe I'm African. Huh? What part of the world you could be from? Because your family could have came over from somewhere else and they don't even have to be slaves. Fiddler was already a slave, which they did not mention in Roots. Okay? They didn't mention in Roots. Fiddler didn't say he was an Indian either. But you could take a guess that he was. Because the only people that was here on this continent was the indigenous people. But he said clearly that his ancestors were born here in America. So I say this to say this. What if you think you is, you might not be who you think you are? Because if you look at some of these geographic documents of indigenous people, So many of our people here that lives here in the United States have a similar look to these indigenous people that was already here. I'm telling you, I was just going over and I say, wow, we look so much like indigenous people. And that some of these Indians are saying, you are us. Now, my grandmother said we were Indian, partial Indian. Okay? I forgot what tribe she said we was. You know what I'm saying? But my point what I'm making is this. We've been bickering and fighting, trying to figure out we from Africa. But if we're not from Africa, maybe we need to reconstruct this whole thing over again. One. Number two, why the fuck Africa don't seem to want to come get us? Why African people will deny us themselves? African people will deny us. Just because you see a video and you see some African people, oh, come back to us. We're sorry we did this to you. Bullshit. Bullshit. Pay attention. Use your common sense. The average African is not worrying about you. And if you really do your research, it's millions of Africans never knew they learn about slavery in school. They learn slavery in school just the way we learned slavery in school. But when we learned it, it wasn't a traumatic effect until we seen Alex Haley movie Roots, the original Roots. And remember, his movie was based on his family heritage. He wanted to find his family tree and where he came from, where his mother and his grandfather, great-great-grandfather, great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, and so on and so forth. And he had to go through Roots. Now, he even went to Africa, and he went there and found his people. It wasn't easy because it took him a long time to do this. But my point what I'm making is this. That was him. Then everybody else, oh, we African, we African, we African. Now, yes, the origin of life is Africa. But remember this, the Africans always traveled. They always traveled. So if I traveled, let's say 3,000 years, I traveled here to North America, we settled down, and then the family grew and it grew and grew. And then you had other settlers from different parts of the world that came in because they heard there was riches on this type of part of the world. So now if I come in and say, we can make this land ours, we can start all over. Because that's what a lot of these settlers, colonies did. The colonies is going to another place to start all over and settle and do what they want. That's all what a colonist is. Understand that. Understand this, y'all. Pay attention. Everything we think we know is not always so. Because there's hidden messages in everything. When you start to understand layers and then peeling back another layer, history has lies and truths. When it comes to us as melanated people, do you truly know where you come from? Who is your descendant? We are basing on information that a white scientist have found bones and says the beginning of man came from this woman they found, right? They named, I forgot the name they named this, the African woman, and said all civilization comes from Africa. Now you tell me this. It took them years to decide to tell you that. So why they wouldn't tell us and put this in history books? Why they wouldn't put this in the books and teach us this? So now, the last 30 years, we want to tell you, yes, we all come from black people. What the fuck is going on? You see what I'm saying? Even though you had great leaders in our communities, like I told you, Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and so on and so forth. They knew where we came from because they did their studies. But you got to remember one thing. To truly find out where you come from. But you will not know your tribe. You can't take no fucking spit and find out exactly what tribe you come from. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's pure bullshit. You can take somebody's spit and go, well, they from the Nukuli tribe. What if the Nukuli tribe got fucking destroyed altogether and you are the last descendant? Huh? And that's in your tribe. It's not even, they don't even have it on record. What if that's a possibility? Because there's a lot of tribes, a lot of nations been destroyed, natural causes, got up and disappeared, and nobody know nothing. You see, we don't talk about these things, but damn sure we think we know it all. I'm telling you, what if what you think you know is not what it is? Because history has a world-class lesson of lies and truths. Because one thing I've learned, that how in the fuck an African can come here in America, set up shop, sell his watches and DVDs and shit with no fucking problem, none that we know of. And they're going to tell you an American, because we're American point blank. They could colorize us all they want. When an African call you the black man, he only get that from the school he learned from. How he gonna call you the black man? The reason why he call you that, because he know you're not African. So the only thing he can call you is African American. He don't even want to call you that. He can say the black man. He ain't gonna call you the African. An African man is not gonna call you African American. Y'all better wake the fuck up. What you think you know is not what you think you know. I'm telling you, African man is not going to call you African American. He's not going to do that. You understand? Unless he caught up in that religious bullshit. He caught up in the religion and he know, well, my Lord Jesus Christ is white. So you already know his mind is gone. And that's another thing. How a man from Africa, pitch black, he gonna tell you that his God is white in 2017? How in the world? So what you think you know, it ain't always what it is. I'm telling y'all, history has lies and truth. A man from Africa, Congo, Nigeria, Syria, is going to tell you, come here in America, go, well, my Lord and Savior is a white guy. You could download this stuff because they already did it up in Harlem. They had Jesus, quote unquote, white Jesus. They had Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey. And when they asked these Nigerians, who's the most important man in your life? You know these motherfuckers picked white Jesus? And talking about they didn't even know Marcus Garvey and they didn't even know Malcolm X. So once again, what you think you know, it ain't always so. This is the problem we have coming from our skin. Divided ain't even a goddamn problem. We talking about illusions after illusions, man. Who are the fuck we are? Because we can go in any diverse. Straight up, man. Straight up. I'm telling you, listen. The average person don't care anyway. The average black person, melanated, Negro, whatever the fuck you want to call the names they gave us over the fucking years, don't give a damn. They still sell you the fuck out. That's another thing. You don't know what you think you know. I'm Chocolate Amun Ra. And I'm telling you something. All this innuendos between Hebrew Israelites, Islam, Christians, and the conscious community, all these superpowers. You got like what, 12 billion Christians, 1 billion Muslims, and now the conscious community is starting to come out and starting to have the theories of Egypt, how they all got the concept from Egypt, and even white scholars are telling you that. White scholars, black scholars, Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, they gone. They passed on, I already told you. They dropped their science, even though they went to these white schools, right? But before these white schools, they were black institutions a long time ago. They wouldn't tell you, listen, if nobody tell you that, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know there was castles in Africa. There are castles in Ethiopia because they never showed you. You don't believe that Africa looks like a paradise because they never showed you. So what you think you know and what you believe you know, it ain't always so. Man has been fooled. And let me give you another thing. White people have been fooled too. Because see, white people only tell them what they think they know. White people only tell them what they assume they know. What research they think they've been having. As long as they on top of the game and money and everything is coming right to them, why should they give a goddamn? Why should they care about you? Why should they care about you? If they get loans and free money and be able to get these beautiful homes and houses and their stock and their money is growing rapidly, you think a motherfucker's going to care about you? Huh? You think if the police is bashing your fucking head, you think they care about, like, oh, you shouldn't do that. They ain't care because their kids ain't going to do that. Huh? You honestly think they care? They care about you? Huh? Think about this shit. What you think you know, it ain't so. This how delusional we all can be. 1 minute, people talking about, oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Right? Check this out. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. But then, you're sitting there saying, fuck the Africans. But then when you start to watch it and why, and start doing research, why, they correct to a certain degree. But then, if the Bible tells you we're all supposed to be one loving people, then you're contradicting yourself. Like I said, what you think you know, it ain't always so. It's your Chocolate Amun Ra. Let me tell you something. Life, when you get deep, it can fuck your mind up.